Hi, I'm Barbara, Baba, Wawa, and I'm here to interview myself because I don't think anybody else can interview me as well as me. So I'm going to be interviewing myself. The first question I have for myself is, this is from a flimsy outline, so we always like everything flimsy. Everything I do is flimsy. What famous people have you interviewed? I have interviewed many famous people. I have a list of them here. Harry Potter, very famous, Gerald Nixon, and Richard Ford. They were great presidents. Gerald Nixon, Richard Ford. I have interviewed George Clooney, or maybe it was Rosemary Clooney. I can't remember. It was so long ago. I've also interviewed a famous actress from Italy, Sophia Lorenzo, and Audrey Hepburn, who is an American famous actress. She's no longer with us, but I really enjoyed interviewing Audrey Hepburn. She was beautiful. Next question. What do you feel is the most important quality for a news reporter to have? The most important quality for a news reporter to have. What? Oh, here I am again. Sorry. I'm continuing. I enunciate pretty well. Usually on my interviews, I'm much better than this, but I'm interviewing myself. So anyway, the next question is that I ask myself, what do you feel is the most important quality for a news reporter to have? And I would say that you need to be humble and not think that you're like the best. I know I'm much better than Yram. I've got to say that right off the bat because I have interviewed way more important people. Like I told you, Harry Potter was one of them that I interviewed. And I also interviewed Muhammad Ali, and she thinks that his name is Mo Adams, but it's really Muhammad Ali, the float like a butterfly, sting like a bee thing. So the most important quality, as I said, to summarize, is to be very self-deprecating and humble. Like I'm always humble. Okay, the next question is, what newsworthy news stories have you covered over your illustrious career? Probably one of the biggest stories I ever covered was the weather, the weather, like flooding and storms and earthquakes and just disasters like that I've covered. I can't remember which ones, but I was probably in over my head in some of those flooding areas. But I'm a pretty good swimmer, so it worked out for me to cover the floods all over the United States. There's no such thing as climate change, right? Okay, the third question, fourth question, 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourth question, how do you prepare for your interviews? Well, as a very famous person, Wawa, I usually go on a long hike up, Mount Everest or Mount Shasta or some mountain to prepare myself and clear my mind and get in really good shape, walking up those mountains and climbing over rocks and stuff. So I tried to exercise and climb some very large mountains, tall mountains, and some hills. I do some hills, you know, the black hills and the brown hills and the white hills, and all kinds of hills are good for good exercise. So I prepare myself by clearing my mind out in the countryside and walking and hiking. Yeah, I'm good at that. Putting one foot in front of the other, you know. In fact, I'm walking right now, aren't I? Yes. I'm going back and forth. I use my Apple Watch to keep track of how far I go. And the last question, question 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can count. Do I have any trade secrets for staying at the top of my game? Come on, I'm always at the top of my game. My gosh, I don't have any secrets. If I did have secrets for being the best, way better than Yram, way better than Anderson Cooper, way better than, I can't remember some other famous news reporters, but if I did have any trade secrets for becoming a wonderful, famous news reporter like I am, I wouldn't freaking tell you the secrets, because then you might be better. And Yram's never going to tell me, I know, because she's just really vain. You're so vain. She probably thinks this interview is about her. Anyway, I would like to thank you for being here with me, and I'm going to conclude that interview of myself. I thought I did a wonderful job, although I'm very modest and very humble. So signing off from down in a wonderful California town where I live, in an exclusive area called Happy Down in the Valley. Okay, I'll be talking to you again. Bye.
Oh, excuse me. Good morning. My name is Yram Sicnarf. I'm a well-known journalist, and I come from Gun Barrel City, Texas, where we shoot straight. And I just watched part one of Baba Wawa's interview, not her interview, her discussion about her important interviews. And I was a little confused. I don't know about you, but I have a little surprise for Baba. Yes, she has a birthday coming up on September 25th, just a few days away. And so I searched the world over to try to find a few friends that might like to discuss or talk about Baba a little bit, you know, for old time's sake. So I was able to find a couple, and guess what? My interviews have been published in a well-known publication. It's only published annually, so I snagged a good one. So it's in the Murdo Annual, again, only published annually, but my interviews are both in here. So the first friend that I was able to locate was actually a very famous track star. I believe he was famous back in the 70s, but his name is Eddie J. He didn't want me to use his last name for reasons you probably might understand. But Eddie, when asked how old he thinks Baba is, well, I was able to get a picture of him as he answered my poignant question. Yes, I hope you can see this right there in the middle. So how old is Baba? I asked, and he said, I think she's as old as dirt. Oh, so anyway, you know, actually, Eddie broke a lot of records. One I wish he hadn't broken was a favorite of mine. It was Come Back When You Grow Up, Girl. You're still living in a paper doll world. Living ain't easy. Anyway, you can probably tell I just got out of hair and makeup. So that was only the first of two very exclusive interviews I got. I did search a lot to come up with a couple of, and they were just kind of, I came up with, they're loosely interviews or whatever, but I did come up with two loose friends that I know of. So the second one, his name is Don E. And again, he really didn't want me to use his last name. Yeah, there's Don. And the coach was a little unhappy that we interrupted a very important basketball game. But he has kind of a loose bench, if you know what I mean. So there's Don. And he said, Coach, let me in. And put me in. And to which the coach replied, Don, you are already in. You're in already. So it wasn't easy to come up with these people. Give me a break. So I think Don had a couple of records he broke too, but I don't remember them right now. Babs said something that I took a little bit of an exception to. She said I couldn't see very well with or without my glasses, and she's wrong. She's dead wrong. I can see really well from this side, and I can see equally as well from this side. So give me a break. I'm going to let you go for now. I'll be back with part 2 later. Hopefully I can find a couple of new friends to be published in the annual publication that only publications are published in. Ta-ta.